Hi guys, welcome to a Rossi audio video. I haven't had one in a long time, 6 to 7 weeks or at least. I think it was mid August when I had the last one. I said then that I was not going to make any more videos. Well, it's kind of hard to let be sometimes, and I gave it some thinking and some thoughts, and I'm not making the videos for YouTube or Google. I'm making the videos for me and for you guys who are watching and subscribing. The video today is about refoaming. Refoaming a woofer or a speaker is something most of us who deals with vintage audio come across or stumble onto at some point in time. It can be your own speakers that are getting old and you need to refoam them because they crack and they peel and they just disintegrate. Or you buy a pair of speakers that are in need of some refoaming or maybe even reconing. But reconing will be for another video. Today is all about refoaming. There is there's like two sides to this. Some people like one company and some people like another company. I have experienced most of the ones that are out there, and I have also experienced many companies that are no longer with us because they went out of business. So because I've been refoaming and reconing speakers since the early 90s. So I have used them all, like I said. Some I have good experience with, and some I have terrible experience with. I'm not going to name any names on the terrible ones, but I can give you a good. I can give you the good ones. My favorite is Speaker Exchange. Top quality, top prices, top service, never a problem. They know what they're doing, and they know what you need. When you call them or email them and tell them what you need, they send you the right stuff. Unlike someone else who keeps sending you the wrong stuff, and they try to lie about it, and they drag it out over weeks and months. Midwest speakers are good. SpeakerWorks are good. They have a very limited supply of products, but they're still good. And there's certain others, like Orange County is good, and so on and so on. There's one company I'm not going to mention because they are terrible. They have a terrible customer service. You guys on the Serve Vega group on Facebook knows who I'm talking about when I say it. They have terrible service, and when they screw up, they don't want to take ownership to fix it, okay? You have to be on them for weeks. That's why I quit using them back in 2003, 4, something around there. And I went over to using Speaker Exchange after that. Their prices, they're okay, but nothing to brag about. But there is the customer service one. And this company puts out videos on YouTube, okay? On how to refoam. And if you follow their advice, you are heading down the road towards disaster, okay? A company they want to be, and how they kind of like put themselves out there to be, should be too good to put out such a stupid video. They tell you that you can refoam a speaker without using SHIMS, and yes, you can. There's not a problem with doing that in itself. I have done it a couple of times. Sometimes you run into speakers that you have to. There's no way around it. Like this one. This is a Serve Vega VMAX speaker. I just finished the cone, gave it a new coat. The problem with this one is the foam was gone. There is no original foam for these speakers, so I have to go out and I'll do a little creative work on some other types of foam. this doesn't have a dust cap, so I can't use shims on it. So here I have to, on this one, I have to use that method. But then again, I have reconed and refoamed thousands of speakers. So for me, it's kind of like easy to center the cone and the voice coil. But here's the problem. If you are a total rookie and a total newbie, and this is your first time that you're gonna refoam a speaker, you should not follow this company's way of doing it. When they tell you that you don't need shims, you just do this and you push here and you push there and you work on it and you... How do you, who have never refoamed anything in your life, gonna know where that point is? And I'm gonna show you why. I have the perfect proof. I have bought drivers, and if you don't believe me, I just have a small selection up here. I have in stock, in storage, about 275 to 325 drivers of all kinds of sizes. It can be the massive 18s or the small 8s, even 6.5s. I have more on the floor down here, I have more over here. I have a storage room in here that is smack full. It is full of drivers that is both needing of a recon job or a refoam job, but also has been refoamed. And I have bought them off of eBay. And here's the problem. I have bought on purpose. I have singled out for over 2 years listings on eBay where the seller says newly or freshly refoamed or something like that. Has new foam. Ready to play, blah blah blah. I have bought a lot of them. And before I buy them, before I commit to buy or commit to put a bid on it, I send the seller a message and I ask two things. Where did you buy the kit? And who did the job? And on the first question, I get an answer. It can be this one, that one, this one, from a different lot of companies. If they have bought from a certain eBay seller, there's 2 eBay sellers, if they have bought from certain of those, I don't buy it. Those are cheap China things. I have showed you before. And on the second question, there's most times 3 answers that I get on who did it, who did the job. The first answer can be that I have received is a company, a local company in my town did it. Normally that means that it is okay because they have handed it over to a company who do deal with this stuff, and they give me the name of this thing, and I normally go and Google them up and see what kind of, do they have a website, what kind of ratings do they have any feedback, stuff like that, and most of the time it's okay. The second answer I get is a friend of mine did it, who had done a few, and he did mine. Okay. And then you have the last one, the last answer is I did it myself. And it's the 2 last ones that I pay close attention to. And those are the ones that I most of the time buy and have been buying because I want to prove a point. And let me tell you, out of all the ones that I have bought where they have done it themselves or they have had a friend to do it, 8, I'm not kidding, 8 out of 10 woofers have to be redone because they haven't been done the right way. And there is a link to which company they have bought it from and what guidance they have received. I'm not going to say any names. And this becomes so interesting because this started a couple of years ago, this debate and all this blah 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 blah. People were fighting online, and this is especially for you guys who have never done it before, and I'm going to show you something. And this is not a single thing. I have about 160 of these that has to be redone. That has already, when I bought them, was freshly refoamed. I have about somewhere between 150 and 160 of these that I now have to go in and redo because of this shit. Because they followed some company's advice not to use shims, just push it into place, use a signal generator, play some music, get it, let it work itself out. No, no. If you've never done it before, you use shims. If you never refoamed before, buy it from Speaker Exchange, look at their videos on YouTube or on their website where they take you step by step on how to do it. And yes, they tell you to use shims and they show you. Here's what happens when you don't use shims, okay? I hope you can see it. Let me move my camera over into the light. Okay. I hope you can see it. Do you see the black gasket? The outer black ring, okay? You see the space between the little thing here? Let me put it like this. Here. You see this one? That goes around? Okay. You get the point. Look now. Do you see the problem? Oops. What happened? There is no gap between the gasket and the foam on this side. It's no gap. As we turn it around, the gap becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And right there we have the biggest peak of the gap. Now, if you look at the speaker like this, you might say, oh, that looks good. It's been refoamed. Yeah, it looks good the way it is here, but if you take a closer look at the gap there. Oops, no gap there. And if you think that's the worst problem, then you're mistaken. I hope what I'm going to do now, that it will register on the phone, on the microphone. What am I doing? 3 fingers. Just pushing in the middle, slightly. I don't push hard, but listen to this. That is the voice coil rubbing because it's not centered. This seller who sold me this a year and a half ago had bought kit from a company that makes videos to tell you that you can refoam without cutting out the dust cap and use shims. He had followed the video to a T, he said, and he said he had measured the DSR on it and it was good. The DSR is not going to tell you if the voice coil rubs or not, unless the voice coil is totally busted or burned. This could have been a good woofer. It's not now. I have to do the whole refoam all over again, and I have plenty of it. And the seller was kind of proud because he had refoamed them. I understand that. He managed to glue a piece of foam to a speaker, and he made it look okay. I'll give him one thing, he didn't spill the glue all over the cone, so that's a good thing. But guys, if you are new to this, you never refoamed a speaker before, do not follow any advice of not using shims. You are gonna fuck up. You're gonna mess it up and you're gonna make it wrong. And what do you think happened if you start playing on that shit? It goes exactly for a minute and you burn the voice coil. What do you have to do then? Recomb. It's gonna cost you twice as much. And again, you're probably gonna follow the advice that company gives you, because even on a recon job they tell you that you don't have to use shims. And here's my advice, if you come across a company, I don't care how highly regarded they are among some people, because some people are just too blind to see. If you come across a company that advise you not to use shims during a refoam or a recone, that tells you that that company is not a good company to deal with. Run like hell. Go to Midwest Audio instead, or like I say, go to Speaker Exchange. They are the best. If I'm just gonna rank them, Speaker Exchange, Midwest Audio, Orange County Speaker Repair. Those are the three best ones. The other one doesn't even make a list. They have shitty customer service. They give out shitty advice. They have shitty prices. And if something happens, they start lying to you. So avoid that company. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you know who it is. If they had put a video out and they had told you that here is how you do it and use shims, it would have been a totally different thing. Because customer service can be fixed and sometimes, but stupidity can't be fixed. And refoaming and reconing speakers without using shims is total stupidity. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say, I have done 40 of these and never had a problem. Well, did you even think that maybe that has to do with that you have done some of these before and that you have paid some attention to how you do it? Not everyone has the same approach to do things. Not everyone has the same patience to do things. So just because some of you guys do the push, play, it will adjust itself. You've been lucky in the past and you found out, oh, there it is. You kind of get a feel for it. Okay, good for you. But don't tell someone that has never, ever fixed a speaker before to do it without shims. It's irresponsible. It is such a bad advice. Use shims. It's the only way to do it, to be 100% sure that you're not running into problems with centering coils. Doing the other one, push, adjust, play, give it a little signal, you're never 100% sure that it's going to be centered correctly. And it takes just a hairline off, and you are in deep problems. Remember this. Use shims, guys.